Are you truly certain that your choices are really yours? Every single day, you make hundreds of decisions, from choosing your morning coffee to contemplating a career shift, fully convinced that you're acting out of free will. You walk through life believing your conscious mind is at the steering wheel, guiding you through every turn. But what if I told you that nearly 90% of your decisions are not made by your conscious self at all, but by a silent puppeteer hidden in the shadows of your psyche? Your unconscious mind, operating through ancient symbols, deep instincts, and archetypes older than civilization itself, is the real architect behind most of your choices. And today, we're not going to read tea leaves, shuffle tarot cards, or perform fortune-telling tricks. We're about to do something far more daring. We're going to peer directly into the operating system of your soul, using a simple yet astonishingly profound psychological image test. This test is not entertainment. It is a direct dialogue with the deepest part of you, the part that already knows what's ahead, even when your conscious self pretends it doesn't. And guiding us through this misty, symbolic territory is the shadow of Carl Gustav Jung, the man who had the courage to map the unknown landscapes of the human psyche. His compass will help us explore your destiny, and perhaps, for the first time, truly meet yourself. So settle in. Release your skepticism. Let yourself arrive fully into this moment, because this journey might change the way you see your own life path, maybe subtly, maybe dramatically, but never trivially. And before we dive deeper, remember, our only local currency for the work behind this video is your like and subscription. A simple, fair exchange for the hours poured into creating this experience. Wouldn't you agree? Now take a breath and step with me into the first path. Before you lies the first image, a wide forest trail, washed in soft, filtered sunlight dripping gently through the canopy. The air feels cool, calm, almost sacred. This path doesn't shout, it invites. It draws you inward, asking nothing, promising peace, promising clarity. And if your eyes, your intuition, your inner voice chose this road without hesitation, then know this. You are standing at the doorway of deep self-understanding. You are on the threshold of a long-awaited meeting with your truest self. This choice is a quiet rebellion, a soft but powerful uprising of your soul against the noise of modern life, against the pressure to constantly perform, achieve, impress, and chase validation. Your unconscious is exhausted from the race. It wants stillness. It wants the return to something real, something organic, something you. In Jungian psychology, the forest is a classic archetype of the unconscious, the realm of mystery, intuition, forgotten memories, and quiet wisdom. But you didn't choose a dark, frightening forest full of danger. You chose the forest filled with light, and that reveals something essential. You are not afraid to look inward. You are not escaping. You are exploring with curiosity, not fear, with openness, not desperation. Right now, harmony, balance, and the natural rhythm of life mean more to you than the frantic chase for success or approval. You instinctively know that the answers you truly need don't scream from billboards or echo through the digital noise. They whisper in silence. They tremble in the rustling leaves. They flow like water beneath the surface. Carl Jung once said, "Who looks outside dreams. Who looks inside awakens." And your choice, this bright forest path, is the first step of your awakening. A gentle exit from the world of illusions into the world of your inner cosmos. But before we follow this path deeper, let's take a moment to understand something about you. Tell me in the comments. Just one word. Logic or intuition? Which one leads you more often? Your answer will reveal more than you think. This path symbolizes inner growth, healing, and the need to return to your authentic essence. Maybe you're tired, not physically, but spiritually. Tired of deadlines, forced smiles, and goals that never actually belonged to you. The forest calls to remind you of what is real, that you are part of nature, not a cog in a corporate machine, that your destiny is not written on a resume or measured in followers. On this path, nothing needs to be rushed. You cannot force insight any more than you can pull a flower open with your fingers. Wisdom ripens at its own pace, like fruit in late summer. All the forest asks of you is trust. Trust in yourself. Trust in the quiet signals of intuition. Those sudden thoughts, repeating dreams, or subtle nudges your logical mind keeps dismissing. These are messages from your deeper self, knocking gently on your consciousness. Your main quest right now? To learn to listen to the silence. Because in silence, the divine whispers to you, and in noise, you only hear yourself. This path is not for those chasing fame or quick rewards. It is for those brave enough to return to their roots, recalibrate their inner compass, and embrace slow transformation. You might be in a period of incubation, where nothing seems to be happening on the surface, but inside you, powerful seeds are being planted. Let them grow. The forest heals. Its rhythms stabilize yours. Its wisdom seeps into your bones. Allow yourself to rest. Allow yourself to simply be, and remember Jung's warning. Those who fail to learn from the past are doomed to repeat it. But in this forest, you don't repeat. You reset. You rebuild. You awaken. There is no map here except your intuition. No guide except your true self. And that is the most reliable guide you will ever have. Now we leave behind the peaceful forest and turn our eyes toward the second path, its complete opposite. A narrow, rocky trail hugging the edge of a mountain, winding upward toward a snow-crowned peak that pierces the clouds. Up here, the air is thinner. The silence is heavier. The world feels sharper, colder, more demanding. This is not a place for leisurely walks or quiet contemplation. Every step costs effort. Every turn hides a challenge, a landslide, a gust of icy wind, or even the silent enemy of your own fatigue. Yet if this image made your heartbeat quicken, not from fear, but from excitement, then congratulations. You chose the path of trial, mastery, and personal conquest. You are a fighter, a climber of the spirit. One who does not seek easy roads because deep down, you know a simple truth. Easy roads lead nowhere. Most people look at Everest and think, that's dangerous. But you wonder what the world looks like from the top. You imagine the feeling of standing above the clouds, your lungs burning, your heart roaring, realizing you've become someone your past self could never imagine. This choice reveals enormous strength, a will forged under pressure, ambition that refuses to shrink, and a burning desire to overcome yourself. Your competition isn't other people. It's the version of you from yesterday, with its fears, its doubts, its excuses. Difficulties don't scare you. They energize you. Because you understand what so many never learn. Character, like steel, is forged in fire. Every obstacle is not a curse. It's a training ground for your inner muscles. In Jungian psychology, the mountain is the symbol of the shadow, the hidden part of your psyche where you stuff everything uncomfortable: anger, envy, fear, ego, desire. On the mountain, the shadow comes out. When oxygen thins and your strength collapses, your masks fall away, and the shadow whispers, "Stop, you can't, turn back." And then you face the greatest choice of all: let the shadow defeat you, or look it straight in the eye, accept it as part of you, and use its fierce energy as fuel. Jung warned, one does not become enlightened by imagining figures of light, but by making the darkness conscious. Your ascent is not just about achievement, it is about transformation. The real prize is not the summit, it's the person you become on the way there, tempered, wise, resilient, and awake. This is a subconscious test you take in real time. Each step upward is an answer to the question, who are you, truly? People who choose this path often become leaders, pioneers, breakers of patterns. They change the world because they first dared to change themselves. But this path carries a danger, the danger of ego. After reaching the top, it's easy to feel invincible, superior, untouchable. But remember, the mountain lets you climb it. It can take that privilege away just as easily. Even the strongest mountaineer needs a base camp, a place for rest, humility, and grounding. Don't forget to return to earth, to celebrate small victories, to breathe. Otherwise, the climb becomes a prison disguised as ambition. Your mountain is waiting, and the summit is worth every aching step, as long as you remember why you started. Sometimes it feels like the mountain is rejecting you, testing your endurance. But the truth? The mountain is you, your limits, your patterns, your internal barriers. Do not fear the pain that comes with growth. It is temporary, but the strength you gain lasts forever. This journey is like training. The more difficult it becomes, the stronger you get. Jung believed that happiness depends on you alone. And on this mountain path, happiness is not the peak. It is every step charged with courage, every battle won against your own hesitation, every moment when you keep going even when no one claps for you. This is the path of the solitary warrior, who becomes a beacon for others simply by rising. Now let's shift the landscape completely. From the sharp austerity of the mountains, we descend into a world shaped by water, alive, fluid, unpredictable. Before you stretches a long road running alongside the vast ocean. On one side, solid ground, familiar, steady, comforting. On the other, an endless expanse of water, shimmering and shifting, whispering one moment and roaring the next. If your inner compass pointed toward this path, then your current life stage is not about logic or conquest. It is about feeling, emotion, creativity, depth. You are entering the realm of the heart. You are someone with a rich inner world, someone who feels deeply, who perceives nuances others overlook, who may have grown tired of hiding true emotions behind a mask of social expectations. Choosing this road is your soul's cry for freedom, the freedom to express, to create, to feel without apologizing. In Jungian symbolism, the ocean represents the collective unconscious, the source of dreams, intuition, imagination, and all creative energy. Walking beside it means walking on the border between your conscious mind and the vast unknown beneath it. This path is the path of the artist, even if you've never held a paintbrush, written a poem, or composed a song. Because creativity isn't a hobby for you. It's survival. It's the only language your soul fully understands right now. The ocean symbolizes both beauty and danger. Calm one minute, explosive the next. just like emotions. Your task now is not to suppress your feelings, but also not to drown in them. You must become a surfer of your inner tides. You cannot fight the wave. You can only ride it. Everything in you right now needs space, room to breathe, to explore, to wander. Attempts to box you into strict routines, rigid plans, or cold logic will only spark rebellion inside you. Jung once wrote, "Depression is like a woman in black. If she turns up, don't chase her away. Invite her in and listen." Your emotions, even the dark ones, are messengers, signals from the depths of your unconscious, gifts disguised as storms. Listen to them. They will show you where to go. This choice reveals tremendous courage. The courage to follow a dream even when it looks irrational or frightening, like the deep ocean at night. Right now, you possess an extraordinary creative potential, something raw, real, and capable of touching other people's souls. Your sensitivity is not a weakness. It is your superpower. Allow yourself to be expressive, dramatic, unpredictable. Your inner world is too vibrant to stay locked away. Find a channel for this energy: drawing, dancing, singing, writing, photography, crafting, anything. Because if you do not express it outwardly, it may begin to eat at you from within. Jung once said, "A person who does not confront the hell of their passions will never overcome them." Your ocean is both heaven and hell. Your task is to walk beside it without fear. Your intuition is especially sharp now. You can sense things before they happen, read people easily, feel the emotional temperature of a room instantly. Do not doubt this ability. It is guidance, and in the darkest waters lie the brightest pearls. This path is your descent into the treasure vault of your soul. It requires bravery, openness, and the willingness to feel deeply even when it hurts. Trust your sensations. Trust your instincts. Trust the ocean within you. And now, a completely different landscape, carrying a completely different energy. A warm, narrow street in an old city. The kind of place where history clings to the walls, where countless footsteps echo under the cobblestone pavement, and where the glow of lanterns softens everything into a gentle golden haze. You can almost smell the coffee, the fresh pastries, the dusty sweetness of old books resting in hidden corners. If this was the path your soul chose, then your current journey is not about solitude, not about inner battles, and not about emotional tides. It is about connection, community, learning, human warmth. After wandering through your wild inner forest, after climbing your personal mountains, after walking beside the unpredictable ocean of your emotions, your spirit now longs for people, culture, belonging. You are searching for your tribe, your circle, your intellectual family, the people with whom your mind and soul can breathe freely. This path signifies that your growth now depends on interaction, on conversations, on exchanges of ideas, on shared experiences. The city is an ancient symbol of civilization, of collective knowledge, of culture, of accumulated wisdom passed from generation to generation. Perhaps you are tired of keeping everything inside. Perhaps you are ready to learn from others, and let others learn from you. On this path, you are both student and teacher. The lanterns along the street symbolize enlightenment, art, history, science, philosophy, conversations that change something inside you forever. In Jung's psychology, there is the concept of the persona, the social mask we wear to interact with the world. Choosing this path does not mean you are hiding behind a mask. It means you are learning to align your persona with your true inner self, so that who you are privately begins to harmonize with who you are publicly. Jung once said, "The meeting of two personalities is like the contact of two chemical substances. If there is any reaction, both are transformed." You crave these reactions now. The sparks, the insights, the conversations that shape you, refine you, expand you. But this path also has its shadow. When immersed in society, it becomes easy to lose yourself, to absorb the expectations of others, to mold your desires to fit the group. It is the danger of blending in so well that your individuality dissolves. So while you walk this charming, lively street, remember, you must still take occasional detours into quiet alleys, where you can check in with yourself, breathe, and recalibrate your inner compass. Your need for belonging is strong right now, but true belonging never comes from imitation. It comes from authenticity. Maybe it's time to find a mentor, join a community, explore a culture, or even research your own ancestry to understand where you came from. You are seeking context, a story bigger than yourself, a place in the great tapestry of humanity. This path can also mean that you are ready to become a guide for others, to share your experiences, to pass wisdom forward. Teaching is just as much a part of collective consciousness as learning. Jung wrote, "Loneliness does not come from having no people around you, but from being unable to communicate the things that seem important to you." On this city street, you're searching not for crowds, but for connection, for people who understand you, for conversations that illuminate your mind and warm your heart. Your journey now is about understanding the complexities of human relationships and gaining wisdom through interaction, not isolation. We have explored forest, mountain, ocean, and city, but now we arrive at the final image, and it is unlike anything before. A barely visible path cutting through an endless flowering field. Tall grasses sway like soft waves, wildflowers stretch toward the sun, and above it all, the vast, open sky, impossibly wide and brilliantly free. There are no signs here, no rules, no destination markers. The path doesn't even pretend to have a clear end. There is only direction and infinite possibility. If you chose this path, listen carefully. You chose the road of absolute freedom, of new beginnings, of stepping into the unknown with open arms. This is the boldest path of all, and often the happiest. It means you have shed something heavy. Old pain, old disappointments, old identities, old versions of yourself that no longer fit. You've walked out of your forests, climbed your mountains, moved through your oceans, and wandered your cities, only to arrive here, in a space untouched, unshaped, and beautifully wild. Your soul is craving adventure, lightness, spontaneity, and joy for the sake of joy. The end goal is not the point. The journey itself is the treasure. This path is chosen by someone who has undergone deep inner transformation, someone ready to live from the heart, not from fear, someone who is finally asking a new kind of question. Not, "Why is this happening to me?" but what if I can become anything? What if all the roads are open? What if the future is waiting for me to paint it from scratch? The field symbolizes raw potential, a clean, creative space, a fresh page, an unwritten story. And the flowers? They represent new birth, beauty, spontaneity, and the natural joy that comes when the soul is no longer weighed down. Choosing this path means you're ready to follow your heart. Even when your mind says it's reckless. Even when others don't understand. Because this is the path of the soul, the path of intuition, the path of trusting life so deeply that you stop demanding guarantees. There is no need to predict the future here, because you are no longer trying to know it. You are ready to create it, one step at a time. In Jung's work, this is the climax of individuation, the moment when you stop bending yourself to fit any archetype and simply become yourself. Whole, unrestricted, authentic. This doesn't mean life will be easy, but your relationship with difficulty has changed. Now challenges feel like part of the game. Surprises, not obstacles, lessons, not punishments. Your task on this path is to keep your heart open, to resist the urge to build walls again, to avoid turning your freedom into structure, expectation, or pressure. Your superpower now is your openness to new experiences, your willingness to trust that the universe is friendly, generous, and always guiding you toward growth. This is rebellion in its purest form. Rebellion against fear, against conformity, against the narrative that life must follow a strict, linear path. Maybe you recently emerged from a long crisis or a stagnant chapter, and now, life has finally carried you into open air. Breathe it in. Your intuition here is not just a compass, it's a pair of wings. It lifts you beyond old patterns, beyond limitations, beyond everything that once made you feel small. Jung wrote, "The greatest and most important decision is to be yourself." Choosing the field is the embodiment of that decision, your soul declaring its sovereignty. Do not be afraid to be different. Your uniqueness is your strength. Your lack of a clear plan is not chaos. It is limitless potential. Let yourself get lost, because in this field, every wrong turn is simply a new discovery. Every moment of confusion is an invitation to explore. Every step is an act of creation. And so, our test reaches its conclusion. Forest, mountain, ocean, city, or field. Whichever path called to you, remember, this is not a diagnosis, not a judgment, not a fate carved in stone. It is a snapshot, a whisper from your unconscious, a message from your deeper self about where you are right now. So tell me, which path did you choose? Did the description resonate? Did something inside you stir or awaken? Share your experience in the comments. Your insight may help someone else understand themselves more clearly. And if this journey into your inner world brought you clarity, comfort, or inspiration, the best way to support this channel is simple. A like, a subscription. That's our favorite local currency. And it keeps us creating more for those who seek answers not outside, but within.